Hey YouTube, that was knackering doing all those videos in such a short 3 minutes is not an awful long time, not when I'm used to doing my usual rabbiting on for 20 minutes. So this would be kind of just covering in the bits that I forgot about and missed. These two weren't made by Yamaki, we don't think. Apparently, I just heard in the last couple of months that apparently the guy who's one of my pals, Michael, is in contact with one of the guys who actually worked at Yamaki. I think it was maybe the guy's son, something like that. And apparently these models came in and were finished at the Yamaki plant, but they were made elsewhere. That's why they've got a different serial number system. I'm not sure what it is. It implies that this one starts GF81. So it's got 2 letters at the start, and this one starts CC81. So I don't know if that maybe helps narrow it down to whoever else it was that made them. And I know that, well, we're pretty sure that these ones here, the later on, so after 1983 and onwards ones, were made by a company called Chushin. They don't seem to have their own serial number system, because whatever this one is, it's exactly the same serial number system that's on these three. So that kind of might fit in with that one being left over from used parts or something. I think the BBR series, which is what this is almost, BBR just means it's got the red around the outside. I think they were kind of maybe made up of old bits of guitar, ones they had left over they hadn't finished, because there's a lot of the BBR ones, and it's really strange. You seem to do one of every model, but the Telecaster, the 224 Telecaster, and that one is relatively easy to find, and there's a force bass that you see quite a lot of, but the other ones, they seem to have made one of all their shapes. They seem to go through different varieties of rarity. But as I said, these things weren't made in huge numbers anyway, or not at this era. Yeah, so after 1983, the Falcon and the Hawk and the Eagle all stayed, but they kind of turned more into this. They gave them, some of them have got like a Les Paul sort of, what do you call it, figured maple top on them. You kind of look a bit more Les Paul-y. They lose, so they're no longer neck through. They're set neck. They've got flat tops, not carved tops. They now say Falcon or whatever it is on the truss rod cover, and they lose the wooden covers, the wooden truss rod cover and the wooden back covers. I said this, so, and I think the Hawk actually sort of went up in some ways as well, because it got push pull pots added after 1983, which it doesn't have at this point. These are just humbuckers. And as I said, mentioned on these two, there's got a cutout on the back, like a flat bit, which used to be an Eagle only trait. This started coming out on after 1983. The Falcon has it, and my 84 Hawk has it, so that cutout was put in later. What else have I forgotten to say? Colours. There are several colours of each one of these ones. I'm talking about these original ones. So these came out in 78-ish, and there was a few things that changed over the first couple of years. The jack input used to be on the front for like 77, 78, and then they moved it on the edge because apparently it kept getting bashed in. The pickups used to only have one screw on either side, and they weren't these power sustain ones. They were Maxon pickups, and the very early ones had a slightly different shaped bit in here. Whereas these get, the wing actually goes in perpendicular on these, but if you look at those earlier ones, which might not have been made by Yamaki, it kind of curves a bit more like that, and they don't have the scoop on the back. This mad bit here isn't exactly the same on those ones, so instead of coming in a straight line like this, it kind of curves in. Yeah. So colours, this one's been stripped, but it was yellow at one point, even though you can't find a catalogue with yellow in it. These came in white, black, red, and there's a tobacco burst one, which seems to be the most common. Scavenger base came in this, that's cherry red, black and white. I think that's it. The Hawk, this era of Hawk came in, this is BR, which is brown. There's a sort of cherry red one like that, and there is, the other one's a sort of tobacco burst. This is the Hawk RW for Rosewood, or Hawk R maybe. So the Falcon R even. So it's got a rosewood top. There is a maple top one, which is basically the same but maple. I think it might have black pickups, and is there a third one? There's also a cherry sunburst falcon. It's quite nice as well. I'm not going for getting all the colours yet. There is a guy somewhere who's probably watched this video on one of the washburn sites who's got all the colours of the falcon. The eagle, this is ivory. It came in black, which looks pretty good because it's got the super binding on it. There's one, my pal Wayne has one in rosewood, which basically looks exactly the same as this, and basically is so similar to that guitar. Like Wayne's one, his is a fancy one because it's got extra stuff stuck on it, but the standard model rosewood eagle has basically, the only difference is it's got silver knobs, or I think they might be brass knobs rather than plastic ones, and it's got that carve in the back. Apart from that, it's the same guitar. So I don't know if anyone who would buy the eagle, assuming it was more expensive than the falcon, who would buy the, you know, if one of them's £100 more, you'd be like, well, you're going to pay £100 for brass knobs. It is the kudos of having the top of the range though. Yeah. So the eagle also came in a maple top as well. Yeah. Later on, I don't know. There's also a couple of other models when they stopped. Yeah. So so these came out in '78, and then by the time it came to 1980, they brought in these two, and these didn't change. That stopped after 1982, and they brought out one called a T-Bird, which you often see in a blue colour. A blue colour. It's sort of the same. I think again it's flat top. They tended to. I think they've got their knobs are in a 3 in a line, and perhaps the rhythm treble switch is here instead, so there's slightly different electrics on them. Same with so then after sort of 83, 84 up to about 86, I don't know if they go as high as 86, 85 might be the last year of the initial run, and then they've reissued them a few times, reissued them in about 1990, where they kind of looked much more like a Les Paul. They look very much like a hammer, where they've got like a Les Paul tunematic type bridge and flat top and sort of Les Paul type colours. And then they get reissued again. There's a special edition, I think it might be 2000, when they brought out the eagle again, and it's got the fancy binding and stuff, but I don't think it's through neck, and I don't think it's carved top, but it might be. There's also another line of reissues in the middle there somewhere where they're kind of more like these. I don't know, it gets a bit confusing. I don't have all the knowledge about the Wing series, but there's definitely, quite handily, sometimes they actually say reissue on the top of them. So basically I think they're all good, and the reissued ones are made in Korea, possibly, probably. Yeah, rock and roll. Hope you enjoyed that must be video 8. So I've got an introduction where I said all the videos were going to be 2 minutes, and then I did 3. All the videos turned out to be 3 minutes, so I did 6 of them, and then I did this one. Yes, and so the one I've got missing, if you want to donate to Mad Malcolm Guitars, you can donate me the Vulture, which is the bass version of the Hawk. Rock and roll.